dun, 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 dun. We are live. Bow, bow, bow. Got it. Nailed it.
That's obnoxious.
Love it.
You're
Love it.
obnoxious.
What's up, friends? Nice to see you today. We're out here, beautiful Sunny Days Arena at the venue. We are at the venue at Sunny Days Arena at the venue, to be exact. And Ryan Middleton's sitting right over there.
It's the show before the show, not the show after the show or the show. It's the show before the show.
Arguably the best show we got.
This is going to be fun. I mean, this is going to be an interesting show for sure.
Faux show. We got.
This show is going to be a little bit of mayhem.
We got Jason Mayhem Miller joining the show, ladies and gentlemen. And I got to say, this all started, obviously, if you follow 247 at all, you're aware that Brady Huang just won our featherweight title by submitting Ethan Goss with a heel hook, and his coach was none other than Mr. Jason Mayhem Miller.
Still is, right? Still is.
Was, at least, for sure. Yes, still is. As far as I know, still is.
I mean, it could be. Things could have changed between now and then.
Well, when you win the 247 title and become a massive global superstar like that, sometimes you change the team. Yeah, change what got you there. Makes sense.
I love the love he has.
He loves us a lot.
Dude,
that's cool.
It is special knowing everywhere he's going, he's taking pictures. He's letting his family hold the belt. Like, it's awesome. Love seeing it.
I'm a big fan of that. I definitely love how excited he is to represent us and the 247 title.
We're also equally happy to have him represent us.
Just because it's not Ethan or because it's Brady specifically?
I would never say that. I would never say something so mean about Ethan. How dare you? That is just wrong, bro.
What's the opposite of a heel turn? Is that what you're doing right now? An anti-heel turn?
No, I can't believe you do that. Like, that's wrong. Ethan was our champ for years, and you just turn on him the moment he gets devastatingly beaten by a superior athlete.
I mean,
like, how dare you?
Wow. By a superior athlete. He said it. Not
Did
me,
I
Ethan.
say that out loud? No. Come on, guys. Let's be real. Guys, guess who's going to be here? This is the show before the show, but the show consists of Jason Mayhem Miller. That's awesome. That's when you were supposed to go, but you missed the cue.
I'm not. Listen, who among us can really be Danny Palm? Clearly,
Danny Palm can. Danny Palm can't he?
Hang on. I'm sending Mayhem his information.
This is me turning my attention to something else.
Yeah.
Silence.
Yeah. I got guys. I'm a mess right now. We need Danny Palm back. We're a mess right now. But I had to send Mayhem his link to actually join. That's kind of important. So just did that. He should be joining around 2:30. In the meantime, we have some special announcements for you.
We do have some special announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, some special announcements. Nothing crazy. No crazy announcements right now. Let's not. But we are going to be doing some changes. We've reached an exclusive deal with YouTube that we are going to have our podcast now exclusively on YouTube.
Wait,
that's one.
There we go.
That's one.
Wait.
Then two is we're going to be doing these a little differently. We're going to have some different. Okay.
We did some soul searching.
We're giving you some peek behind the curtain here.
Are you want me to give the peek? Am I the one giving the people a peek right now?
Go ahead.
All right.
Tell
peek
them
it
what
up.
it's all about.
All right, guys. Here's the thing. Let me hold this up here for a second so I can really, I really feel like a rock star now holding this. The podcast is 173 episodes deep, and that might be conservative. We've talked to so many athletes, so many coaches. We've done the whole let's get your backstory thing, interview thing. And it's great. And I love it. And I'm very thankful for all the stories that have been shared.
And we're still going to do that from time to time.
Absolutely.
There will be a time and place for those episodes.
However, we get to a point where it's like, what do people actually want to hear? What do people actually care about? And I think, correct me if I'm wrong,
we want to hear about the shanker on your.
You want to know about you want to know about the what?
Do you know what a shanker
No, I have
is?
no idea what a shanker
you can
is.
Google that later.
That's awesome. It sounds great. You guys want to know about the behind the scenes. You want to hear real stories, real things going on behind the scenes. Now, here's the thing about this industry is that we hide a lot from you.
Like, we don't let you behind the curtain a lot.
It's intentional with what we keep secret. But what if we just stopped keeping secrets? What would that podcast sound like?
It would be pretty juicy.
It would be so juicy. So I think we're just going to rip that Band-Aid. We're just going to go for it. And like, it's going to hold everybody more accountable, including us. You're going to hear us criticize ourselves a lot on this new.
Probably more than anyone else. Or we will mainly criticize Danny Palm since he just joined.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a given. Like,
Yeah,
if anybody needs to get criticized, Danny Palm out there living the Palm life, you know.
Bum, 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 bum.
Danny Palm, I'm a mess without you over here, dude. Cutting cameras, probably on the wrong person half the time. Don't know how to act. I can't multitask like this. This is wild. But yeah, I mean, it's still going to be called the 247 Combat Sports Podcast. We're still going to have show promotion. We're still going to have we're going to keep you up to date with fights we have coming up and where you can get tickets and all that good stuff. But I think we are collectively kind of thinking of how to really give you something that you can't get anywhere else. And we were talking about it this morning, and it's like everybody in the world has a podcast and they're just talking about their stuff, or they're interviewing people, or it's a format that you've seen before, and that's fine. And they have their place, and some people are extremely good at it, and that's great. And we think we had really good interviews and really got to the bottom of fighters and coaches and the scene. And I hope we've helped you learn more about the Pittsburgh scene and understand how it operates. But all that said, I still feel like we've never shared the real juicy details behind the scenes and what it actually means to run an MMA promotion. And one thing that kind of spurred it was talking to Ryan, and I was like, it bothers me when people make assumptions based on something they don't understand. And that goes for life in general, but when it affects our business, it really stings. Like, they think something happened that didn't happen, or they don't understand why something happened. They just see like the result. They just see the action, but they don't see the thought process behind it and what actually went into it. So I want to share more of that. I want you guys to understand more of the space that we're actually in. And if you're in the regional MMA space, hopefully, whether you're a fighter, you're a coach, you're a fan, it'll help you be better at that role regardless. Like, you'll understand the business side so much better because it's wild, dude. How wild is this business, Ryan?
It's wild. It is wild. It's like a wild child. And by the way, it's 2:30. That means, boom, it's the show. Not the show before the show. It's now the show. And we're going to be joined momentarily by Jason Mayhem Miller, who we got to know very well quickly on Brawlenberg 28 weekend, April 26th. We got to spend time with him. Me particularly, I spent a lot more time with him than you did because I was stuck in a vehicle with him for an hour.
Bonding over mayonnaise.
Well, I mean, actually, we were kind of clashing over mayonnaise, to be honest. That was
We'll get into that, I'm sure.
Yeah. But, I mean, we were, real quick story, like I took him to Subway and he like built this amazing sub. This is like 10 o'clock at night. He builds this sub and I'm like sub jealous because I already ate. I'm not eating again. But he builds this sub and it's like a wonderful sub. And then he just ruins the whole thing by dousing it all in mayonnaise. And I like called him out on it. And that became our little thing. Like, he was like, dude, you just have issues.
He's here backstage. We got Mayhem backstage. Gonna add him to the stream right now. Let's go. Look at this beautiful gentleman joining the chat.
Hey, live from Hollywood.
Hello, literally live from Hollywood, huh?
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Everything's going really well here. What's up? What's in the background there? What's your little
Buddy? As you know, Mayhem Miller, the Hello Kitty King. I got some of these prints on sale. You know, go to japanla.com.
Wow, a plug for Japan LA right off the bat. I love that.
Busy, dog.
Love
Right off
that.
the busy. How's the show going out there? 24/7.
It's beautiful. We're crushing it. Everything's good, man. We're still kind of decompressing from April 26th. I think that was a great show. You know, you guys came out and did your thing.
I
What did you?
I think the whole world is decompressing. I think the mixed martial arts world got shook up a little bit that night.
It did.
And we're happy to be a part of it. So damn honored to be on the 24/7 stage right now.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that means a ton to us. Your boy Dan Cohen's in the chat already asking where the Hellman's at.
Yo, man. Hey, the most unexpected meme of 2025 is the Mayhem mayonnaise meme. I got to get into the food industry now. I'm going to figure out how to get my name slapped on a jar of May Hellman's.
Dude, maybe get some Japanese mayo, so some Kewpie, whatever they call that.
Oh, we're going to hit it with the wasabi sauce, a
Bro.
light green texture to it. You know what I mean?
Dude, that would be awesome. The signature Mayhem mayonnaise, spicy wasabi mayonnaise. Dude.
Hey, somebody get one of my shell companies to do another shell company to start this business.
I love it. What did you think, dude, when Dan Cohen walked out to his grappling match with a bottle of mayonnaise?
I couldn't believe it. Hey, but I respect his decision.
You guys need to give the viewers a little background on this because they may not have any idea what you're talking about.
Well, we were setting the stage a little bit, but go for it.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
no,
Ron.
I will tell the story as
Okay.
I know it. All right, look, Mayhem, right? In solidarity with my fighters, I'll diet too. I diet like I'm training for the fight. I'll lose 20 pounds in a guy's camp. I'm okay with that. I'm fine. It's part of the job. Everybody eats salad. Everybody eats protein. We're all doing it right. This guy drives me to the boondocks in the middle of the night, says, "Oh, the only thing open is Subway." I said, "Damn it, fine." So I got in line behind a bunch of other people who are at this truck stop Subway in the middle of the damn woods. All right, I was afraid I might get chopped up by Jason Voorhees. Anyway, I go into the Subway. Man, what are you gonna get? You know what? If I'm gonna fuck up, I'm gonna fuck up with the best Subway sandwich there is, the Elite Chicken Bacon Ranch. Now, why do I know this? Because previously, before my dieting, I ate that all the time. I ate it all the time. It was good. Hey, and the real trick to it is, yeah, certainly it's got bacon. Yeah, certainly it's got cheese. Yeah, certainly it's got chicken product, okay? But the real kicker is you put a little mayonnaise on the top of it. Now, apparently, this is a faux pas in Pittsburgh. Now, I don't know if you guys didn't get, because the Amish blocked out mustard and mayonnaise up there. You don't got condiments up there in Amish country. But listen, this guy almost fell off of his stagecoach and was like, "You ruined the sandwich, mayonnaise." And then
I was like,
after that, it was Mayhem mayonnaise all trip.
I was like,
maybe
bro,
that was an attempt to get into our head, okay? But it didn't work this time. All right, so you can put some mayonnaise on top of that sandwich and eat it.
That's beautiful. I love that story. I love it because I know from firsthand experience how much Ryan hates mayonnaise. So it really wasn't personal. This is a Ryan issue, not a Pittsburgh issue. Let me make this clear.
Listen, you know what? I should have left a trigger warning on my Subway sandwich.
I love that Ryan, when he tells the story, he always sets it up as like Mayhem was building the most perfect sandwich you could ever imagine. It was pristine, and then he ruined it.
No, it was. It was. Like, hey, look, and that wasn't on me. That was on the sandwich artist behind the counter at 11 p.m. at a truck stop. Right?
We do have Nada 5150 in the chat saying the Amish forbade mayo as it's directly from the devil.
Yo, man, Nada 5150 is knife face, a fucking 135-pound assassin. And not in the way that Joe Rogan talks about, in the way that I talk about, when this guy is just a fucking slugger, a crowd pleaser. And look, we're probably going pro pretty soon.
Love that. Love the sounds of all that right there. And Chico in the chat as well saying Mayo makes the sandwich. So I think you got to meet Chico at the
Right.
fights, Mayhem. He was
Yo,
a good.
you lost this argument there, Ryan. Everybody loved Mayo.
Yeah,
it won't be a first, bro. I lose lots of them.
Lose all of them, bro.
I'm still right. Just because I'm in the minority doesn't not make me right.
So what's up in Hollywood right now, dude? How you guys come in, you win the 247 title, you go home. What's the past 2 weeks been like for Mayhem and Brady?
Well, Brady just got right back on the horse, was helping Nightface train. You know, it's a team effort in martial arts. It's a lonely endeavor where you're by yourself when the damn door closes, right? But it really helps to perform at a very high level if you have like a whole team of people committed to helping you, and you helping them. You know, the iron sharpens iron type mentality. You know, it's a cliche for a reason, because if this guy is strong and tough and fights real hard, he's gonna bring me up to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's a complete fighter, really. Everybody has parts of their game that need elevation. And then the only way to really ascend is to go with a guy of high level of that style. So, you got the kickboxing down. Okay, fine. Well, you better learn how to counter wrestle. You better learn how to do front headlocks. If you're an excellent grappler, we saw Bo Nickel go down recently. Excellent grappler, but just doesn't have the takedown connected with his striking quite yet. So, he's having a hiccup in his career. I think that it's a beautiful thing about collaboration. That's the crazy word they always use online now. Oh, we'll do a collabo. And really, all art is a collaboration, including martial arts, because, you need somebody to fight against to see that style. That's why when you have dudes with very specific weird styles, like doing a certain leg lock, or, having wild kicks, that come from nowhere. Okay, you have yourself a niche, and it's super hard to train for you. So, that's what I like to spec into with the fighters, getting them some type of skill, or taking one of their skills and exacerbating it, making it even better, and gearing their fights towards that skill.
I think it's amazing anytime you get a specialist at all in MMA. It's increasingly rare, I feel like, as the sport gets more well-rounded. You don't see these guys that kind of have their trick to just work. Yeah.
It's because really good athletes are training everything and whatever, so you're getting a lot of homogenized junk. It's like, maybe they'll win fights, but it won't be the greatest fights, I think that if you have one skill set super locked in, that's a big advantage to you. You just have to make sure that the rest of your skills complement that skill, or you get in that Nickel mistake where now he's doing a strange kickboxing style that has nothing to do with wrestling. And I just did MMA Roasted, and we were talking all about that, so it's fresh on my mind. But I'm not denigrating Bo. He'll be back, but it's an interesting time in martial arts, because you do have some specialists putting in the work to do the whole game, and then you have a lot of just great athletes doing generalist kind of tactic, where I'm figuring out everything piece by piece. It's a cool time.
Yeah,
you've been in this game for so long that, like, back when you started, it was very much, you had a specialty or anything, but you were so young when you started. When did you go from a young man who likes to fight to being a dedicated martial artist? Like, when did that happen?
Oh, well, that's interesting. It's a little blurry, because when you're a kid, you pick up stuff. Like, I was still skateboarding around and then doing jiu-jitsu in the backyard, sort of like at 15. Like, I was like still not into being a fighter exactly, but I liked that. You know what I mean? I liked blood sport. I liked the idea of the UFC, and I was already like a decent like street scrapper when I was a kid. But yeah, I think I started getting serious after I decided I was not going to join the Army. My dad was in the Army, and that was like the plan till I was like 16. 17. I went, I ain't joined the army. And the fight world kind of opened up to me a little bit. I got involved with judo a bit, and then they sent me over to like a ultimate fighting gym, they called it, or no holds barred is what we called it back then, NHB. So I went to an NHB gym, and then was really like, I can do this. Like I can focus on this. I have like the physicality to train for 2 hours and then eat something and then train for 2 hours and then eat something and then train for 2 hours. And I love that. So my skill set combined with my like decision to join my own army. Like once I did that, I said, okay, I'm in my own army now. I'm going to go and, do my own thing. So 17. And then I fought my first fight, like instead of going to my prom. So I was committed. I was like committed. And by that time, and then I got after it, and I never really, I knew that I could always fall back on poverty. So,
so reliable.
I was not scared. You know what I mean? If you can live in a tent, if you can live on the shittiest conditions, just sleep right through it, then, I like was training my whole life for that.
That's awesome.
So you've like, when you look at your, your record and your history in martial arts, MMA, it's an impressive list. Some of them wins, some of them losses, but you fought some of the best. I fought
everybody. I never turned down a fight. Contrary to any internet rumor, I never turned down a fight. And it's I know I had a kind of a crazy career because of that, and it's one of those things where I don't think I had the most perfect career. And that kind of benefits my guys a little bit because I got the benefit of going to all these championship camps. I was tough enough to hang with the top guys. So I got to go see Rampage's camp for a championship, Fabricio Verdum's camp for a championship. Like I saw how meal prep was done. I seen every job that's in a successful training camp up close and like listened how to do it and soaked everything up, and I still got my body enough to pad the guys real good and kickbox with everybody, at least once a week, and do MMA sparring still. And so it's great place as a coach to, be in that championship mindset and know all these methodologies and still have the wherewithal to be able to do it, and because I had 50 pro fights, but and some of them I came out smelling like a rose, and other ones, even ones I won, I was like a car wreck. It's serious business, mixed martial arts, I think that everybody should be very cautious going into it and take it very seriously.
Is there a guy that you like either wanted to fight or just a name you wanted to compete against that you didn't get that opportunity?
Melvin Manhoef. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna smash this guy. He's like the scariest kickboxer ever. You know what I mean? But like back in Japan back then, I was fired up. Like, yeah, bring him. And look, he might have fucking kicked my head off. You know what I mean? But like, I remember like that was like. He was, to me, the scariest dude in the world. Like, and so I wanted to fight him, It never happened. I don't know. Japan contracts, like, kind of dried up, and it was like a different time in mixed martial arts. But, man, I really respect him as a fighter. Like, what an amazing athlete. What a damn, that's
terrifying.
Dutch kickboxing, bro. Dutch kickboxing. And I was proud enough. I got out there with CR Badu Zara, and I trained a little bit of Dutch kickboxing. It's a different take on things. I'm surprised we don't see it more in the UFC, but I guess they're.
Oh no, we lost him. Yeah. Oh no, he just peaced out. Mayhem just said that's enough of that. Got a black screen.
Enough of that.
I don't know.
He's not like it's not like
I know it's still there. I don't understand. Very strange. All right, well, we'll let him try to figure that out. In the meantime, Ryan and I will
let's talk smack on him.
Yeah, no, No, he just said he wanted to fight Melvin Manhoff.
I know. It just goes to show, like, he's Mayhem.
That's crazy. Of all people, I feel like that's a terrible choice because even if you win, the danger is just so high. Like,
Yeah.
Why even worry about that?
But do you remember? Did you watch like the kickboxing stuff, like Badr Hari, whatever his name?
Yeah,
is?
yeah, I know who you mean.
Dude,
yeah.
he was scary.
He was terrifying, yeah, and crazy also.
And there was like something wrong. Like he had hair all over his back except for one point, one
I don't
spot.
remember
Do you
that.
remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Dude, he had like the
bald.
hairiest back ever.
I don't remember the bald spot on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
They said Mayhem is under a sneak attack from an insurgent force from an undisclosed location. I mean, that's as good of a theory as we got going right now. That's for sure. We also there's a lot of good comments I was about to get to too, man. This is
and
disappointing.
questions too.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, hopefully he comes back. I don't know what happened there. Maybe his phone died. Maybe he is under attack right now. It could be anything.
Any additional theories will be read online. So give us your theory of what happened to Mayhem Miller.
Could be anybody's guess. Well, I guess in the meantime, while we wait on him, I do want to point out. Well, I kind of wanted to talk to him about this too. I don't.
Yeah, this is where
Tough.
when you go live and you're relying on internet, he went to get Mayo.
There you
of
go.
course,
Oh, wait. He's back.
Uh-oh.
Tagging him back in.
Difficulties there.
It's okay. They got you. Melvin Manhoff sent the internets out on you.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, that's
This guy's
clearly what
awesome.
happened. There were a lot of comments saying that Nick Diaz ducked you, and I just want to open the floor to that.
Of course, yeah, of course. Yeah, Nick Diaz, that was another storyline in MMA that like the suits didn't let happen. So, whatever. But you're gonna have millions of those. There's so many like business deals. Just that close to making, or that's the nature of life. You just got to keep walking right past that.
Wait, but did you guys have personal beef?
Oh yeah, what do you mean? They jumped me on TV. What the hell? You don't watch fucking TV? CBS. Yeah.
We don't
him and his boys jumped me, and
there were only 4 of them.
Yeah, he was my weight, and I was like, all right, well, fine, I'll pick you then. It's a more interesting fight than Shields or something like that. It's like a nice kind of rivalry, sort of, and then. That's the way the mixed martial arts worked in those days, kiddies.
I don't understand. That one's weird for me from the fact that it was kind of denied on the back end. It sounds like because that's a money making fight. That's a money. I don't get it. That's crazy. You wearing a Pittsburgh shirt, by the way?
Oh yeah, bud. I had to rock it.
Look at our guy.
Yeah,
look at this.
We love the Pittsburgh Penguins. You don't know Jaromir Jagr? You don't
of
know
course.
Mario Lemieux?
Of course. I'm glad you do. This is beautiful.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, a hockey fan. All right.
Oh, dude, we love our sports in Pittsburgh. That's for sure.
Bro.
That's
I saw that, bro. Oh my God. Everybody's rocking the colors. I was very impressed by that city.
Yeah, man, 100%. How did you like, in a general sense, what did you think of Pittsburgh? Did you get to really see downtown or anything?
I got a glance. I didn't get to have a nice staycation over there, but dude, it was amazing city. It's breathtaking countryside, great architecture, crazy. There's history in there. The steel, everything is really shocking to somebody that lives in California. It's concrete, whatever. Those bridges. I'm like, how many bridges do y'all need, man? You're gonna go across the river maybe you guys should all have personal water skis or something. I don't get how much you got to get over that bridge, but I get it. I really wanted to do some smelting.
Well, next time, if Brady has to defend that title, which as we've publicly said, we hope he doesn't have to. We want him to go straight to the UFC. Think he deserves that, but if he needs to defend it, we'll do some smelting next time.
Listen, let's keep back if if he gets the call. But all right, cool. But I think that'll help everybody if this guy stays active.
Totally. What I gotta jump back a little bit to this kind of specialist talk, and I think it gets lost in Brady's record how good he is everywhere because he's just finishing everybody with heel hooks. But what makes his leg lock game so special?
Dude, obviously disciplined practice. He spent a lot of time on this. You don't get good at that overnight. There's a lot of little details and intricacies of that position that people are not willing to take the time. And there's a certain strength that needs to be developed to defend against that and also attack with that. There's a strange, like, sort of quad and hamstring, and there's a weird type of dexterity that has to be developed and practiced, or you let the lock go.
Yeah.
And he's got it. He's got setups to it, and a feel for it that only comes with hours of practice. That 10,000 hour rule,
holds true. Love that. We had a question I wanted to get right before you dropped out. We had Chico ask, did training with Josh Barnett early in your career help your overall grappling with his catch wrestling style and jiu-jitsu?
Well, hell yeah, but in a weird way, because you don't run across that type of grappling too much. And really watching him train, as big as he was, as hard as he pushed, was inspirational. Like, you know what I mean? He like keeping the cardio up when he's like outweighed me by 100 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like really putting effort, a crazy, like, I keep doing a cliche champions mindset sort of deal where he worked super hard at skills. And, look, we're going to talk jiu-jitsu versus catch wrestling. But guess what? I'm on jiu-jitsu side. I think it works the best, but I think that all grappling styles have a piece and a good, well-rounded guy's game. You know what I mean? So I definitely have done some of his catch wrestling moves that he showed me. 100% I've done them. 100% I've done. Do I go to him first thing? No, because I have a little bit different mentality. But if they're there, I take them, and they're crowd pleasers.
Yeah. Yeah, very fun, I think. And it's interesting, like you said, how all grappling styles are starting to mesh. This kind of modern jiu-jitsu game is a little different, I think, than even just 5 years ago. It looks very different.
Look, buddy, if you really pay attention, it ebbs and flows every 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, one grappling season will be the era of, leg locks, and they're having a little comeback right now. And then, I don't know, it'll go back up to upper body submissions, and then, or somebody does some weird inverted stuff for a while, and that gets hot. We're all memeing right now. Jiu-jitsu is just a body of memes. You're doing a different variation on same thing. Like, my redneck dad with the damn leg scissors. Okay. Oh, we call that a triangle now? Modified leg scissors on his head. Okay, we already had that move, but the Brazilians, they rebranded it, and sleeper hold.
Yeah,
sleeper hold. I mean, come on, I was doing that in 1981.
That's awesome.
Out the womb.
We had another question, man. we're getting a ton of questions. I'm just going to keep tossing them your way. Your boy Dan Cohen, who walked out with the Mayo, said he would love to hear who Brady likes to learn from for his leg locks because his mechanics were super clean.
Oh, bud, you're gonna have to ask Brady that in full. I know his jiu-jitsu coach John Evans is a prolific leg locker himself, I believe. I know that Brady did a lot of open mats up there at New Ground Jiu-Jitsu, which is like a real leg lock capital of California. They do a lot of those leg locks, but yeah, you have to ask him to get the specifics who got him those exact ones. I encouraged his leg locks for sure, but I want him making sure that he gets guys with ground and pound and make sure that he softens them up a bit before going into that, and then you saw it against Goss. Goss is real tough, but once he got into that guard position, Brady landed shots and then slipped right into the leg lock attack. It was real slick, real smooth, real practiced. And it's beautiful to watch something that you've seen in the room get drilled, just come out like like a well choreographed dance.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful, man. It really was a great finish. And I think Ethan obviously, spent a ton of time in that camp learning how to defend leg locks, and even went to Ryan Hall's gym, 50/50 Academy, to train with guys that do that for a living. And obviously Brady's still got it done. So the mechanic got to be clean. The preparation's got to be crazy. And as your boy pointed out, not a 5150 said, Brady's calves are so big, they're cows already. That's awesome. That's a great line.
Farm in the shorts.
That's a great line, especially in Pennsylvania. It plays even better here with all of our cows. That's perfect.
Milkmaids.
Dude, I gotta jump back. We were right before your internet cut out earlier. We were talking about kind of your fight history, everybody you've competed against and everything. There's one, I think, when you look at your resume, fighting GSP, man. What was the experience like? So a lot of people consider him the best fighter of all time, or at least top 5 at a minimum. What was it like going against a guy like that?
Buddy, listen, he was another guy I was trying to win against. You know what I mean? It was a weird thing. It's a unrelenting type dude that's beat you to the next pass. Like keep his rhythm up so that he stops you from getting into your rhythm. There's an artistry to George St. Pierre that he's got all that praise for a good reason. I feel honored to be the first man to take him the distance.
Nice.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that everybody knows that name anywhere in the world. So, being praised for that fight, which I did not win, I came up with a unanimous decision loss, and the response that I got going back to the gym, like, reinstilled my faith in myself as a fighter, because I was bummed, because you're bummed when you come up with the L, but the gym stopped rolling, which they would never do, to give me a 10-0. And I was like, damn, okay. That was solid. Like, would I want to get the win? Of course. But the fact that I got the respect, for putting it all out there, putting it on the line, reinstilled my love. Like, it reinvigorated me that day, and then I went on a run after that. Like, I think I beat up Rob Lawler after that. I went on a good run. That loss sent me on a, after I iced my face for a little while, I got back in the training room and I really got after it, man. It was very motivating and sent me on a whirlwind. I went to Japan. I went, man, I had a great career in part because of that loss.
Well, and that win, or that loss rather, aged well, because it was still early in George's career and he was known to be good, but how good was he? Like, he wasn't Tom Brady good, known to be that good yet, but he was clearly in his prime and one of the best fighters ever, and proved that.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is that those in the know, the people who are at the top, they were making sure that this guy was going to fight the right guys at the right time to maximize his, his power, maximize his career, and it was smart. I believe it brought a lot of Canadian fans in, having such a great champion. He's so good and so strong and such a workhorse in the gym, according to everybody, that, he was destined for that gold, He was destined for that top level there. And really smart business decisions all the way around, he had great team, corners, management. He had the whole package.
What would you have said to him if he would have told you after a win that he was not impressed by your performance?
He never said that about me. He said that I was a fucking alien. He said that he didn't know. He thought he fought the devil that night. No, he said that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's an honor. Where would you put him? I mean, now it's just got my brain spinning. I love the hypothetical MMA questions, the Mount Rushmore type stuff. Where do you put GSP, or what's your Mount Rushmore?
Oh, Rushmore. Why is everyone always doing fucking Rushmore? Why can't we do the animatronic Hall of Presidents?
Okay, we'll do that. Let's roll with that.
I don't know. What do you mean? He's in there, obviously, but Anderson Silva, it's like he gets kind of forgot. Rampage Jackson is like the fucking man. Like, I can't believe people don't I think because he's funny. He's like goofy and funny and was in the A-Team movie. So I think people don't realize that being the Pride champion and UFC champion is fucking like crazy, bro. It's amazing, especially in that era. You know, I can go on and on. Don Fry back in the day, you know, the smashing Takayama. It's just I don't know, man. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the sport in general. You know, nowadays, this Jack Maladalena, Jesus Christ, I can't say it. Bro, I had too much coffee or not enough. I'm not sure. But Jack Magadalena, right? I want to see how this fight goes this weekend. It's an interesting time because, dude, Muhammad is a damn beast, man. He's got all the tools. And, you know, Jack is like kickboxing superstar, right? But maybe not takedown artist that Muhammad is. So we shall see. That's what. See, I'm back to being a fan again. Even though, it's a boring card. Oh, good. All right. Well, I guess stream it. So you know, whatever. You're gonna watch the fights. We all love the fights, man. And yeah, it's kind of got me reinvigorated right now to like. I just want to go to the gym right now. I just hype myself up. I'll be out there holding pads, guys.
There we go. Dude, I mean, I'm loving the passion you have for the sport is really showing through. And I don't know if I underrated it for some reason or what, but hearing you talk about it's got me more excited about it. Is there any competitive fire left in Mayhem at this point?
Look, bro, like everyone say that, like, okay, who's gonna give me a bunch of money to fight Jake Paul? I don't think anybody.
Please, you know Jake Paul versus Mayhem, please.
It would be hilarious. I've been saying that forever. But what the fuck is he gonna fight Mayhem for? You don't give a shit. You know, he's got some KSI to handle or somebody, right? he's got his own crew of merry misfits over there, and so yeah. I don't see myself fighting. I like you know, to me, I'm so honored that some dudes will let me hold his spit bucket, you know what I mean? And fucking watch him like go do the hard work, you know? It's a humbling experience and it's very creatively and artistically, you know, I know I'm saying that a lot, but like it really is fulfilling to help people like get a new move mastered or like show some move and then the guy busts it out. It's fucking awesome. Like, it busted out live in a live situation. Like, okay. Well, and then he glanced at me and like I glanced at him and like, yeah, that should work, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I got it. Next time he's in town, we have Bully Beatdown in the Berg, dog.
Oh, what?
Woo!
Oh, jeez, bro. Hey, we gotta film some interstitials. We gotta film some packages then. All right.
Bully Beatdown in the Berg.
Does Jake Paul qualify as a bully? I think a lot of people would consider him a bully.
I mean, obviously, that's
beating up old people.
I would think. Wait. Isn't Logan Paul the bully to Jake? Because Logan is the oldest one, right?
Right.
So I guess bully beat down that guy. Listen, I don't know. I don't think it's in the realm of possibility, but maybe I'm manifesting it into destiny.
How does so obviously you're a well-rounded fighter. I would say a little more known for your grappling than your striking. How does a boxing match against Jake Paul go? You versus Jake Paul.
Yeah, hilarious. You know what? I would clench him a bit. I would clench him a bit to get his arms tired. I'm telling you. I would like bully him around. You're not gonna bully me. I'll Greco-Roman his ass for a little while and keep fucking getting the referee to break us. And I keep laughing. I keep rubbing my fucking forehead into his face. That would be my strategy for the first round. Okay. And then 2, 3, I think I'll start dancing and then switch southpaw to northpaw. I know I'm known for my grappling, but you know, I spent like a long time at King's MMA. And then after I retired, I was over there helping guys train for fights. So I like did a lot of kickboxing later and like, you know, figured out a lot of kickboxing because the kids love kickboxing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be a kickboxer. Okay, cool. So I specced into a lot of that in recent years and pad work too. So I don't know. I'll just say I'm the best pad man on earth. I'm like, because I'm young enough to do it. And I learned from Master Rafael Cordero. Okay. So and Danny Perez, world boxing champion. I learned from those guys. And it's that knowledge is still here, and my body is still holding up. So I'm like, like, let's do it. You know, like the guys get in shape if I hold the fucking pads.
Dude, no doubt about it. We have another young stud pro fighter in the chat right now. Robbie Ring said, "Bring back Bully Beatdown." There you go.
Everybody loves that fucking show, bro. I don't know how I'm gonna have to steal that shit from Mark Burnett.
Seriously. Yeah. Nowadays, it's funny because bullying's so different nowadays too. The way it happens.
Bullying now. Yeah, now it's like they don't have the balls to kick sand in your face at the beach.
Right.
It's like they just swat you and like troll your mom.
Tweet about it. Yeah. It's beautiful. But yeah, man, that's an interesting. I mean, I would love to see you get the bag to box Jake Paul. I'm watching that. I'm into that.
Look, I know, but not everybody knows Mayhem, so it's like a weird thing where I don't know. I'm gonna fucking go to the freeway overpass and like hang a flag that says "fuck you, Jake Paul." You know what I mean? How am I gonna get a payday like that? It's some bootleg ass "will fight for food" with a sign by the freeway. Fuck that, man. I'd rather. We'll work on what I'm working on and then beg Jake Paul for a fucking boxing match.
True. I do think like getting back real quick, you mentioned in Kings, I did want to point out there, if people remember, they were super hot, probably 2016, 17-ish, like a super hot gym, but legendarily hard sparring there. So I wanted to ask you about that dynamic. How did you fit into that?
I fucking fought everybody super hard. Bentley Silva all the time. Fabricio Verdum kicked me full speed in the fucking ribs if I put my hands down. One time he kneed me in the body so hard that I fucking cracked the rib and I ignored it and has finished the round. And later on, I was like, holy shit, this motherfucker, bro. I didn't know until they took an x-ray of my chest for a checkup, and they're like, "Oh, look, your ribs broke right here, and it looks like it healed up." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember that day." I just finished the training camp with a broken rib. I didn't even mind, and he won the fucking title against Cain Velasquez for that camp, so it was worth it. No.
One of the best title performances of all time. He was
but underdog. And right before, you don't know, bro. Right before the house they rented in Mexico. For the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks of training camp, bro, it got the carbon monoxide suddenly, and like they could have died, bro. Somebody woke up and was like, "What the hell?" and like fixed it. But right before that, that's
wow.
I know. Maybe the carbon dioxide gave him superpowers like Spider-Man.
Helped his cardio. Kane's cardio wasn't there that day. Mexico.
Well, no, because I don't think that Cain prepared. Like, see, we did a training camp before they went to Mexico. Then they went to Mexico. I didn't go for that the last 3-4 weeks. They acclimated because it's you don't know, Mexico City is high altitude,
right?
And so at high altitude, I don't think Cain was quite prepared for that jump. On top of that, Fabricio's in sick shape. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I was sparring partner all the time. I kept scrambling. I was pretty big too. I was like 220, 230 maybe. So I was scrambly Mayhem helping out Fabricio. It was a fun camp.
That's awesome. Fabricio at that time, he's another, you mentioned kind of how people forgot about Anderson Silva's peak a little bit. I think Fabricio's peak is underrated big time.
Yeah. I think, me, Matt Horwich, he had a bunch of American dudes help him in that camp, like I was saying earlier, the guy walks out there, fights by himself, but dude, he's fighting with a whole team of people behind him, that so many unsung heroes of the fight camps, they just go missing, you don't even know this guy. He doesn't make it into the photo. He doesn't, but the actuality is you need all those guys for a successful training camp.
Yeah. That's a tale as old as time in MMA, man. What do you think about these guys that you hear it all the time? If he would fight like he does in the gym, he'd be a world champ. What do you think that dynamic is of guys who are just way better in the gym or vice versa?
It's a lot of factors inside the competitive game, so many factors. You got to figure it out on your own as the athlete. And you got to have a good coaching staff, figure out the details to make you, you got to do the fight, but your coaching staff and everybody around you can do things to positively or negatively affect your performance. And I think that the more experience you have, getting to know, like Brady's fight went smooth as butter because instead of me reacting to what's going on, I already knew what we got to face here in the fight camp. Like even though I don't really know, this is the first time working with 24/7 with this fight, but I know the general things. Oh, the commission's going to be on our ass. I'm going to deal with them. I don't want the fighter stressed about this, that, or the other. I want him ready to sit down, wrap his hands, get a warm up, and go get the win. You know, you got to foresee all these problems before, so there's no problem. You know, being a coach manager kind of guy is this thing where you're constantly anxiety until the fight. Then you're like, good, we got here, we're done. We're done being anxious. Go win the fight. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned was our commission rude or something? What, did something happen?
They were just a real commission, you know, serious business. And I respect the guys. But they were on my ass like, hey, you know, get the fighter to the arena, you know, God bless them. You know, I'm glad that they're there. They're important for our sport.
I think I was surprised at weigh-ins how, and I don't know why, because you're such a pro, but how serious you, Brady, the whole team was when you showed up. You guys weren't necessarily in a talkative, happy mood at weigh-ins, but after the fight, you take pictures with everybody. You were the guy that I expected, but it was nice to see that switch of like all business and now we have fun.
Look, I'm a fucking comedian. I am. All right. Like that. This is what it is. Like the internet is, if you're a funny guy, then they give you money. So thank God for that. I don't know how it's working, but I'm also a professional mixed martial arts coach, bud. And it's a very serious business. The consequences are very serious. Yeah. So, you know, of course, I'm going to put on my game face. I know everybody want to dap me up and like cuddle me before the weigh-in. I'm like, no, dude, no. This is serious business right now. This guy got to get on the scale. What if he doesn't? I'm going to have to like go from, what if he's a pound over? I have to go, hey, yeah, cool, man. Yeah. We're going to have nachos. Oh, shit. And then go into the sauna box suddenly. No, you know, it's serious business and I take it seriously. It's the only thing I really know how to do.
Well, man, I know ahead of time we had so many people hit us up like, oh, I just want to meet me. I heard Mayhem's in town. And I was telling them all the same thing. Like, hey, I'll do what I can, but like if he wants to meet you, that's on him. Like,
I'm honored that those guys say that. God bless you. You know what I mean? I hope that everyone could have a blessed career like mine, where people will dap you up and buy you chicken wings or a Diet Coke. You know, but the business is the business. And look, next time I'll come kick it with all the Pittsburgh people. You know what I mean? We'll have a whole thing of it. We'll play some recreational league hockey.
There we go.
We didn't have time to set that up because Hunter was ignoring you.
No, that's good. Like I said, bro, hey, I'm a wild card. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not sure if we knew each other at all. And I believe that, you know, everyone builds trust through familiarity. So if you know me a little bit better, then you understand where I'm at in my life and what kind of businessman I am, you know?
For sure. That was a big regret of mine.
The backstory is like, I guess Mayhem texted Hunter and it was from a phone like that Hunter didn't have on his phone yet. So it was just like a random person going, "What's up?" or something like that.
Oh, okay. See, my bad. Yeah.
And so Hunter just ignored it, like thinking it was just like a random. And then later on,
I forgot that I did change my number this year. Look, but you know, the internet is the internet. It's all a blur. I can't remember what Instagram versus text. What the hell's going on in the world?
I know. And then see exactly what you just said was the other element of it. When Brady was signed to fight Ethan forever ago, whenever the injury delayed the fight, I had your number in my phone from then. So I had that number saved. So when this one popped up, never once did I think, well, this is
stress, but we're gonna get after it on the next show. You know, hopefully. Look, I don't know when your next show is and whether or not
you're not alone.
Brady will defend his belt at the next show. But dude, I'd be absolutely willing to bring other fighters out of different weight classes. I feel like Pittsburgh the area has high level fighters that should definitely be like showcased, you know. It's a high level of martial arts out there. I owe it to the tradition of wrestling that goes back to this country's founding, that's out there in them Amish valleys. Okay. So everybody's a tough ass fighter out there. And, you know, I think the California level is a bit higher, but I'm biased. You know what I mean? That's my hometown. But let's see. We will see over the coming months who is the toughest fighter in America.
Oh man, I love that.
America.
Love that. You got a lot of Western PA wrestling fans amped up with that statement, Mayhem.
Yeah, true. It's true. I respect it very much. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a really fun comment I want to highlight here. This one takes me back, dude. Ron Rudolph said, loved your contributions to Fight Magazine back forever ago.
Oh yeah. That's a hardcore right there.
That is.
I did write for Fight Magazine for a few years, I think. And I busted out some crazy ass articles for sure. You know, and I'm not writing too much right now like I used to, because you know, it's weird when they give you money and you write a thing and then nobody gives you money. And then why would I write if they, you know, so it's hard to get motivated. It's like, there's no fight to win. There's no, you know, there's no payday out there. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm just going to blog for what? Like for what? My Sex in the City, Sarah Jessica Parker? No, dude. No. So, you know, I guess I'll get disciplined on it. Everybody's like, oh, write a book. I'm like, yeah, I'll just write a book. I'll just sit right down. And I guess that's what you do. You just sit down and write a book.
Yeah, it's just easy to do. Everybody does it.
Yeah, but I'm fucking busy all the time. God damn. Hey, what about all those COVID books that never got written? Everybody said I'm going to write a book.
Right. Yeah, I had a few articles in Fight Magazine in my past life. I was an MMA journalist. My degree's actually in journalism from college, so I was in that world for about a decade.
Sick.
Yeah, man.
Okay, we were on the same. I did know. You know what? I remember your name. That's where I remember it from.
Nice.
Now it just connected something.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I was all over the place, man. Back in the day, I ran Flow Combat and was with MMA Fighting and Bleacher Report. Yeah.
Okay. See, bro.
You hated him then too.
Like two ships passing in the Mayo. You know what I
mean? Nice. Oh, that's beautiful. We had a question that I think you might be able to help with. Hayden Shu asks, "Hey Miller, quick question. Why do I suck at BJJ?"
Well, you know, listen, there's always somebody that sucks more than you. So my advice to you, sir, is to beat up the kids in the kids class. You'll develop skills. Just beat the shit out of the 12-year-olds until you develop the proper strength to be able to beat up. But
you are relegated to the kids class.
Yeah, but be forewarned. The kids might kick your ass.
These kids are nasty nowadays. The kids are out of control nowadays.
I know.
Dude, how good is jiu-jitsu going to be in 10 years? These kids that have been training since they were 3 with high-level instruction. Crazy.
Dude, yeah, I gave some private lessons to a kid that is, I don't know, 8 or 9. I gave him a few, you know, the family has the money to like pay Mayhem a boatload of money to wrestle their kid. Okay, fine. I done it. God bless his heart. He is a monster. You know, I won't take all the credit for it, but you know, I definitely gave him a few moves. I seen him at the competition just wrecking kids with front headlocks that I showed him. I said, all right. Again, it's that thing that not even all the Jake Paul money in the world can give you. That feeling of accomplishment that this guy did the move. You know.
Yeah. I love that, man. It sounds like your passion for it is just awesome. What is that? Is that the high with fighting that you chase nowadays? Is that what gives
hell yeah. But also though, I'm like, you know, again, what is that cliche thing? Embrace the grind. I love that. I love that I get to fight my friends every day. You know, I wake up but then I get to go and yell on a podcast. You know, and look, I'm not like Joe Rogan balling out of control guy or anything like that. But sometimes I make money and like I get to teach the guys at a seminar. I get to hand down that knowledge that I worked so hard for. And, you know, the respect of my peers and the high fives from my bros. and punching my friend in the face and getting punched back a little bit. There's nothing that I love more than the smell of a battleground in the morning.
Nice.
All right. So what's a little weird little nugget that like people don't know about Mayhem? Like give us something new.
A nugget? I mean, what are you, a nugget about? You want me to come out to you like Barbara Walters right now?
Yes.
Yes. We want a tear jerking moment.
No, I'm a deeply closeted gay man.
Well, tell us something we don't know.
Okay. I'm a deeply closeted gay. But listen,
I was in the car with you alone for an hour, bro.
I know, bro, and you're missing all the signs. I had my hand on your thigh.
Dude, you were holding up the sign, bro. I read it.
Nah, get out of here with all that. But no, I don't know, bro. Listen, I'm an artful. Look, you probably don't know this about me, but I really love Pom Pom Purim.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Hey, bro, he's Steelers colors, baby.
Yeah,
black and yellow. And then don't forget, he's got a charm point.
He's got a butthole.
Yeah,
Nice.
you can get that at japanla.com.
Stuffed animals with buttholes.
Yeah,
Tell-
That's awesome.
Tell us about japanla.com. Tell us all about that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I invested in a company and it blew up. Okay. It's called japanla.com. I sell Hello Kitty. I sell Domicon. I sell Cinema Roll. I sell My Melody. You don't know who they are, but your daughter does. And it's a fantastic place. I'm building a studio there shortly. It's a fantastic place. I will be getting all the podcast equipment shortly, but in the meantime, we got these delightful things for you to look at.
That's awesome. We need a Japan PGH store. We need a biscuit division, bro.
Buddy, I'm into it. I will drive. Hey, I think it will work there, bud. I went to that main drag strip and I said, wow. I was looking at empty real estate over there. I think it might be able to pop off of it. And I didn't see much competitors over there.
No, not much of that. That's for sure. And I think real estate's probably a little cheaper here than LA, just a guess.
Probably. It's all made out of steel.
We have like 3 more comments saying bring back Bully Beatdown, by the way. I'm not going to show them up, just so you know. People want it. The people are demanding it.
That's sick. I know. It was a funny ass show.
Dude. Okay, I got to add now. We got you. We're talking about Bully Beatdown. What was going through your head? I'll never forget the episode where the bully actually knocked down the fighter. I was like, there's no way, bro.
I thought it was pretty awesome. I was like, all right. Yeah, like, perfect. It's about time that one of these bullies showed up, and showed out, and he did, but then he got his freaking head kicked off.
Yeah, which kudos to you guys. I think you still paid the bully, right? Because head kicks were illegal or something. Is that how that worked?
He denied the money. He was a hockey player and was like, nah, that was a clean knockout.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's respect. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I didn't know that aspect of it. That's great.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, clearly that show left an impression on a lot of people, as has your career, as we're seeing with these comments just popping off the entire time. And you got a lot of supporters, dude. How does that make you feel just looking back on your career?
I'm so honored, bro. It's a fantastic time in my life, and I really appreciate everybody out there. I hope you guys follow me up into the next level of the things that are happening, because I got some momentum. The shit is climbing fast. It's all happening very quickly. Yeah, I see the guy had me sign his Bully Beatdown poster. It's great that I left a mark on America's, the world's psyche, that, there's some type of lasting impression, and I have shaped the mixed martial arts culture just a little bit. I'm very honored.
Yeah, no, you definitely have, man. We have a local coach in the chat as well. What's up, gentlemen? Great show. Yeah, Rob McCraw's the man. I'm sure we'll be seeing him. Well, actually, you met him at the show. I'm sure he was cornering Dale Reed.
Man. Give me a text. We'll have some guys out, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Got another comment. We're bringing back the red stripe. So if the red hair stripe coming back,
Hey, what? Hey, it would be pretty fun to have the red stripe again. I'm not even gonna lie. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. But what do? Do I extend the stripe into my beard too?
I think so.
What's going on now?
100%. That's the move. Yeah.
That's like Kratos.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you would look like. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, sick.
What do you got, Ryan? We've taken about an hour of his time. We'll let him get out of here. Do you got anything else for him before he pieces out?
No, I'm good.
Hey, look, in LA, we don't say mayonnaise, bro. We go mustard. Mustard on the beat, yo.
Mustard on the beat. That's awesome. Well, Mayhem, dude, this has been awesome. Getting to know you better's been awesome. We genuinely appreciate all the support. Watching Brady go on his world tour with our belt is one of the coolest things ever. The belt being in like every picture now is just great.
Yeah, we're about to slap that off. It's about to get cringe there, Brady.
Keep going.
Get back to the gym, Brady.
Let's go daily in a different place forever.
Oh, Mayhem just pieced out again.
Oh,
he's like, oh, we said we were done. We're out.
Well, I wanted to, yeah. So we wanted to tell stick around because we're going to talk more post Mayhem anyway. Dude, what a character he is. He is the most he is so fun.
As advertised. It's funny because like you see people with giant personalities like that a lot of times in a kind of celebrity space, and then that's not really who they are. It's an act, but it's not an act. He's just turned like that all the time. It's awesome. But I think like I'm genuinely, I don't want to say surprised, it's not really the right word, but I'm very impressed by his
performance.
Yeah, very impressed by his performance. Very passionate about MMA. Like you can tell when he starts going, he loves this.
He's an actual fan of the game, fan of the sport. Like, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know if he's jumping back in or not. So just lay it on him, Ryan.
Was he leaving or was he not?
I don't know.
I won't change the subject if he's coming back.
Not sure.
But that was a very Mayhem exit.
If that's how he left, I love it.
So here was my difficulty with with doing, like, we're used to being live with people, right? So like I'm watching the screen, like the only way I can see him is on Instagram, and it's like 30 seconds later. So everything that's happening, like that's when you go, whoa, I'm like waiting to watch to see what happened for that. So it was very hard over here to like kind of like follow everything because I wasn't watching live.
Dang. Well, you next time let me know that, and we'll get you into StreamYard instead.
I was trying to log into StreamYard, but it's not the info.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's us just sucking at life, guys. It happens all the time here at 247 Fighting Championships. It's what we do. We're real good at it. I actually missed a call during the podcast too from one Isaac Greeley, so I'll have to call him back. That's an important one, huh?
That is for sure. Okay, so to wrap up some things we talked about before Mayhem joined us, Hunter, you want to run through that list?
Sure. Mostly we talked about the new direction of this podcast that you guys are watching right now. The 247 Combat Sports Podcast, we are going to take a more deliberate approach with it, where it's less interviews, less strictly promoting our next event and fight. We'll do that. Don't get me wrong. You're never going to wonder when our next show is or who's fighting on the next card. But we want to take a more deliberate, structured approach to breaking down more behind the scenes regional MMA business type things, and even MMA business. If something happens at the UFC level and we can be like, oh, I think I understand why they made this decision maybe a little better than the average Joe who's never been in the fight promotion business, because it's so layered, it's so complicated. And a lot of times when you have a knee-jerk reaction to something that happens, you don't see the way that promoter saw it and maybe had to see it, had to make that decision. You just see the end result. So we want to really like crack open that behind the scenes, give you a peek behind the curtain, however you want to look at it. But definitely it's going to become a more behind the scenes exclusive type show versus here's stuff you can get anywhere. So that's our goal now moving forward with this podcast.
We should have a GFL episode.
I'm down for a GFL episode, and we can even screenshot the text and like put them on screen because I think all of us saw that one coming.
Yes, we can totally show our behind the scenes text of like, this will never work.
Yeah.
Like from a long time ago.
Yeah. I forgot to cut to you, Ryan. Sorry. That camera was on me the whole time you were talking. I'm the worst, bro.
You could have at least tried to like mouth when I talked if you're going to leave it on you.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Your voice coming out of this mug. Oh my goodness. That'd be too much for the world. But yeah, man, we got some stuff coming down the pipe. We're here at Sunny Days Arena at the venue. Obviously, that's still a pretty big plan of ours, and we should have some announcements to make. But we've learned our lesson. We've boy who cried wolfed this announcement enough to know just to not say anything. So we're not gonna say a thing about it. But
the other thing is you're gonna need to follow our YouTube page, 247 Fighting Championships YouTube page. That is where all future podcasts will initially air.
Great point.
So make sure you do that. They will no longer be on Instagram, no longer be on Facebook. They're all going to air on YouTube. And so that is an exclusive right now, starting next week, YouTube only, May 16th.
Yeah, we had some absolute cutie in the comments say, bring back the Get to Know 247 podcast. Nicole Price Homestead. Interesting.
Get to know
great
the
idea.
247 Wives podcast.
Oh, the real wives of 247 Fighting Championships. Let's go. Oh, that's awesome. We got let's see what else we got. I got to shout out our boy Tommy at Shroom Bar. We were just talking about him today. Super impressed with this young man. If you guys are not on the Shroom Bar bandwagon yet, you need to do that. No joke. They're delicious.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're really fantastic, guys. Order them shites.
He is really expanding. I've seen him getting in the hands of a lot of UFC fighters now. I see them all over the place, and he's just tearing it up. And these things, they're good. It's 12 grams of protein plus 4 mushroom adaptogens per bar. Super healthy for you. I mean, we eat them all the time. We genuinely eat them all the time, and
so
love
good.
It. Yeah,
so good.
So do that. Eatshroombar.com for those. We got what else? What else we got coming?
Oh, do we have a promo code?
Yeah, so I didn't know that until he said that during the intermission. He said, I made you guys a promo code 247 that saves 15%, 20%. I forget what he said.
Yeah,
gives you a discount nonetheless.
Slap that promo code.
I'm glad you said that.
Or if you are already friends with a fighter who is one of the sponsored fighters, put their promo code in. That way they can track the effects and you get to save 15%. I think you can save 15% even if you just log into use the promo code, the proper promo codes, so that
he knows who's selling them.
Our fighters and those whoever can get credited for that.
Big facts. So yeah, man, that was an awesome episode. I knew Mayhem was going to be great, but I just appreciate him being so open and
he's so
great storyteller.
He's
yeah,
so upbeat, like he's just a really. I mean, he's been through a lot. Like he's been through. Like if you just take a look at his history, he's been through a lot. He's had a lot of ups and downs in his life and his career, and it's just nice to see him. Get through all that and come out on the other end and be really still passionate about this sport that like has given him highs and lows and the notoriety that's given him highs and lows, and to come back on the other side and be investing into the younger fighters and to have a passion and a pride in that. It's a hard transition. I always tell people like one of the toughest transitions for a fighter is transitioning from competing and doing that to not doing that. And sometimes it just means walking away from the sport. And sometimes that means becoming a coach and investing in others. And that is very, very, very difficult. And so when guys do it, guys like Mayhem and guys, locally here, it's huge, and watching that transition is awesome for us to be able to see as well. Guys like Mike Wilkins,
Yeah.
for instance.
No, that's a great point, and that's something that we tell all of our fighters, including debut amateurs. We try to reinforce to them, enjoy this ride. It is a short ride. No matter how good of a career you're going to have, it's a short ride, even for the best of the best. And you got to embrace it along the way, because when the memories are gone, they're gone, man. There's a point where you can't do it anymore. The body, father time's undefeated, as they say.
There's so many people that like had an MMA career, and maybe most of it was in Pittsburgh, and they were always kind of looking ahead at like getting to the bigger stage and not enjoying it while it was happening. And I think there's some regret for that, like not enjoying the moment while it's happening. And that's what we want people to embrace.
Man, we got a sad comment now. Our boy Nico from India said, my B-day was yesterday. I need that Mayhem shout out. Have a blessed weekend. And Mayhem left the stream unexpectedly like 5 minutes ago, dude. If he jumps back on in the next minute or two, because we're about to wrap this up, I'll get him to shout you out. But I'm sorry. For now, it's a missed opportunity.
Right, well, I'll get him to send me a video text, and I'll
there we go. There we go.
We'll post it. Somewhere.
Make it up to him somehow. Yeah, Nico, a very devout follower of the podcast. So it's always good to see you here, brother. Thanks for popping in. And thank you to everybody for popping in, man. That was a really engaging chat. We appreciate all the comments and all the feedback and the questions for Mayhem, obviously. A lot of the questions I was personally curious about too. So I appreciate you guys asking them and getting him to expand on some of that. But yeah, for now, I think we're going to wrap this thing up. I am sweating like crazy, dude. This studio is so hot.
I'm not. You're
really?
Wearing a hoodie.
It's my coat.
Yeah, it's
these well-made 247 soft shells that are so warm and durable and well-made, and all the things that you would say about merchandise.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, dude, honestly, this thing's awesome. They
It
are
is
really
awesome.
well made. It's not just me being a salesperson, but yeah, appreciate you guys coming in. Mayhem, absolutely the man. We'll have a replay of this podcast up very shortly. And as Ryan said, next week, the first episode of the new look serious, maybe even not that serious, but just behind the scenes, more focused 247 Combat Sports podcast.
I don't know what the topic of the next week is going to be. We're going to talk about that. But listen, if you guys have like things you want to know, we'll probably have an Ask Us Anything episode, things like that. Like, throw us out ideas. If you're like, hey, whatever happened in this instance, or you guys talked about this, like,
yeah,
we'll share those things.
Yeah, there are obviously some things on the business side that we won't blatantly say. Like, there's some things that in our best interest to have from a business perspective to ourselves, but for the most part, I think I'm a little tired, honestly, of like keeping secrets and like protecting things and hiding things and things like that. And it's just like, why? The whole scene's going to be better if everybody understands things better. So let's just throw it out. Let's educate people. Let's get you guys to really understand how this works and why it works the way it does and why we do things the way we do. And I think that's going to literally make everybody better on every level.
Okay.
Going to be changing some cameras there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Mayhem Miller episode, and next week we are going to be back with
a whole new look.
We'll see you then.